Hi, everyone. Welcome back to GDQ, our amazing Juneteenth celebration of Black speedrunners. We've got some really awesome talent. I also just want to say GG to Swarm. Like the Swarm, that was an amazing run. I loved it. You did so great. And thank you everyone for being here. We've got an awesome lineup between today and tomorrow. So if you love what you're seeing, you're not following the channel already, please make sure to follow and check out what we're doing tomorrow. And so let's share a little bit about Juneteenth, our annual event celebrating Black independence. We're live until tonight, the end of the night, and we're going to start up again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. And if you've never heard of Juneteenth before, I'd love to share a little bit of information about it. So Juneteenth is a federal holiday, very important, celebrating the freedom of Black people in the U.S. Our annual event is celebrating Black speedrunners. Of course, they're amazing talent, and we're so happy to share this amazing event with you all. And did you know that Juneteenth was the first federal holiday that they've made since Martin Luther King Day was established back in 1983. There's some good information for you all. And if you want to learn more about Juneteenth, Google it, learn some stuff about it online, and educate yourself, because I feel like it's not taught enough in schools. So, make sure to go out and learn a little bit more on your own if you can. But I'm so excited. I cannot tell you how excited I am to introduce our next speed run and runner. We are going to be taking a look at Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. It's Zangetsu All Bosses run by the amazing, the Blacktastic Bobbeigh. Like, I cannot wait to see what Bobbeigh does during this run. So, Bobbeigh, take it away.
I can't. I need like a minute or two to compose myself after you just gassed me up like that. I'm nobody special, but you folks are absolutely amazing. And first off, I want to thank GDQ for providing us a platform for Black speedrunners and Black hosts, Black content creators, and performers in and of themselves, providing a platform for us to strut our stuff and shine and be exposed to the community in such a grand way on a grand stage. So thank you very much, GDQ. And welcome everybody to Ritual of the Night. My name is Bobbeigh. That's right. And we're going to be going through one of my favorite games of all time, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. There's even a speedrun mode. There is such a plethora of content in this game, and we are only going to touch but one of those, with one of the characters that you could have unlocked from the get-go, called Zangetsu. Time will be at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, everybody. This is Zangetsu. We're going to be sliding around and all that stuff. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Much like if you kind of witnessed my run at SGDQ 2023, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon was kind of a nod to NES-like Castlevanias. So Ritual of the Night is a spiritual successor to the modern Castlevania titles, such as Symphony of the Night and Dawn of Sorrow. So the general feel of gameplay leans heavily on the exploration, on the adventure, usually. Zangetsu's a little bit of a case, but normally, you still scavenge for various items and relics key to progression. So Ritual of the Night does share a few assets from Curse of the Moon, like, the actual series, the universe, headed by Koji Igarashi. This is actually the Galleon Minerva, which is stage 5 of Curse of the Moon. So any enthusiasts out there might be able to point that out, immediately. But Ritual was released earlier in let's call it the full complete edition. was kind of completed, even though they still have a roadmap out there. But you get a lot of the content from the get-go, from a recent update, about last year. So Zangetsu was originally released in 2019 as a free DLC, and you would need to complete the game and all this other stuff in order to unlock them. But with this new patch or the recent update, everyone's pretty much unlocked right off rip. So you can enjoy Bloodstained however you want it. Here's a big zoomie. I love the big zoomie because you rarely get to see that anywhere in the game. There are some instances called half zoomies. It kind of deals with the room being like a 2.5D kind of curving sort of room. So very few of those, but it's really cool to witness. So all this crazy movement that's going on here. Let me dive in real quick. Zangetsu is an extra character, built like extra characters in various modern Castlevania titles like Julius or like Richter. Ultimately, you use these tools in pretty creative ways to move around the castle. Just like, one of my heavy attacks, the Rising Slash, kind of looks like a Shoryuken. I can spam that infinitely if I wanted to, and gain the high heights that way.
Bobby,
all bosses. So
the only zoomies that I know of is the one my cat does here in my house. Just want to say
also named Bobbeigh, correct?
Yeah, also named Bobbeigh.
Bobby's got to go fast.
I love seeing what you're doing here, though. Like, what is one of the most difficult aspects of speedrunning this game?
So tying everything together in one fell swoop. So you can kind of consider this like a really, really long fighting game combo. Mm-hmm. Because in Metroidvania titles, or in even in the true to form Castlevania titles like Symphony of the Night, like you saw by the Swarm, there is rarely any breathing room. There's rarely any chance to compose yourself. You always got to be thinking of what to do next, like whipping these dive kicks here so I can keep up on my mana, because every special move kind of has a mana cost, and if you run out of the really broken aspect of Zangetsu, which is him being able to retain his invulnerability throughout these special attacks. So especially later on in the end game areas, there's a lot of strong foes, and we're kind of under-leveled for the rest of the speed run. So be really, really careful about who you decide to take on, or really, really careful about any stage hazards in your way that might be able to hinder your progress. So that's the name of the game there, though. Retaining your invulnerability and going as fast as possible so you don't get hit by nearly anything. And here is actually another bit of the run, which is kind of RNG intensive. I'm running on the latest patch, so this is a little bit harder, but this is bloodless. I'm spamming Rising Slashes with our falling heavy attacks in order to... Oh, she's gonna do that move. We stagger her out of it. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Oh my gosh.
So we had to deplete her HP to a certain amount in order for her to get into her phase 2, where she unleashes this Bloodsteel attack. So she's kind of getting healed at the same time as we were kind of chipping away at her. So a little bit of a net negative, I guess, for us. But kind of went through that a little bit quickly.
How long have you been speedrunning this game?
Oh, since this mode came out, I think.
Nice.
So Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is one of my favorite games of all time, like I said. And I really tried to gel with the original categories of the main character Miriam speedrun, but it wasn't really my flavor. But this, Zangetsu, the Katana Daddy, is just chock full of movement and execution and platforming techniques that you have to string all together in a row. It's such a thrill pulling this off at the highest level.
I love it. I love seeing what you're doing here.
So that boss is and was Jeeble, kind of an integral part to the Ritual of the Night lore. Just another boss that stands in our way for the all bosses category. Speaking of all bosses, we get to happen upon a couple of these secret bosses in this game. So this is the Millionaire's Bane. This is Casino. This is gambling. This is also quite a jab that Koji Igarashi made at the former company that he's worked at. And you'll be seeing a lot of that through the extra bosses. But this is one of many. This is also kind of the hardest one. So I switched to the ice element because the ice element is the only one that doesn't trigger his reactive ability, where you actually play slots with him, and he's invulnerable throughout that entire attack phase. So you want to mitigate that as much as possible. Really nice boss fight, actually. And we will continue on with the rest of the run. Speaking of the elementals, there are 3 elements that you can harness and imbue into your blade. So we have fire, we have electricity, and we have ice. Ice will probably be that will be the only instance that you'll probably see ice but there's a lot of great usages and weaknesses that bosses have for the lightning and fire abilities. This is a dragon. That was a dragon. It's kind of like one of those bosses. Like Ash, you've played like Final Fantasy games, right? Like you remember like they would introduce like a big bad enemy, and then he would become like a regular enemy like a little bit later in the game.
Yep, with a little sprite swap, you know.
Yeah, little palette swap.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, so it's a little bit like that. That's the Abyssal Dragon. We're actually going to be going to the real main boss of the Livre Ex Machina, which is the name of this stage. Don't read that much into it, but again, you're going to be seeing a lot of Curse of the Moon references, especially if you watch the runs at SGDQ 2023. This is Andraelphis. We're going to be trying to use the thunder to make sure that he gets hit as much as possible. So like the damage ticks in this game. So like the more instances for damage that you deal, like not necessarily like a high amount of damage, but how many times you hit an enemy, they will be susceptible to staggering. So like if they were winding up for like a big bad attack or something that would waste time, like Andraelphis jumping around like that, they could have the ability to be staggered so that they wouldn't do that.
Wow. I feel like I'm learning so much just by watching you play this game.
There's a lot to this game, and speaking of which, there is a lot of information that a lot of people have data mined. A lot of people have like figured out, you know, the testers, the speedrunners. So I want to give a quick shout out to the Bloodstained speedrunning community, whether you are part of Curse of the Moon 1 or 2 or Ritual of the Night. A lot of these people kind of, you know, play in the same circles together pretty much. So like if you see them with one game, you probably see them an enthusiast of the other. So, you know, really tight-knit indie game community for speedrunning, and couldn't ask to be part of a, you know, better community.
That's awesome. I'm sure you all like trade strats too. Like, oh, I noticed this, or I did this. That must be cool.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's one of the best parts of developing a new speed run is all of the tech. And honestly, if you're there for like the, you know, since the game's release, it's some sort of magical. Being able to kind of witness the growth of your game and the amount of people that are interested in something that you enjoy, especially something as niche as an indie game.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I love that camaraderie aspect of it too, especially when you discover something new and then you share it and everybody gets like all excited. Like, I didn't know that, or look at what I just did in this run. Like that must be so much fun.
Like whenever new tech is found or whenever someone takes down a top time, it's always really great, and it's always like in support. Like go you. Like it's really awesome that you found this. It's really awesome that you've managed to pave your way from PBs to top times. Like it's not the speedrunning community without the community aspect.
Absolutely.
Like, it's really, really great.
Absolutely. Definitely.
So this is Malak. This is pretty much like the only auto scroller fight that we'll see. It's a really nice and spectacle, but there are a couple of gates to this fight. I mean, not only are you in this auto scroller thing, but you have to deplete their HP to a certain amount for them to actually go on to the next phase. So if you deal too little damage, which I mean honestly we don't really do as Zangetsu, you might be stuck in phase 1, looping infinite. Who knows?
It's a really cool battle to watch.
The dragon will actually take you with them as they fall to their doom, thus saving a little bit of time. Didn't mean to cut you off, Ash. What were you going to say?
That's okay. No, it's just really cool to watch. I just love the visual of the two dragons like coming after you.
It has to be like a flagship monster for this game. Like if you think Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, then you think of any of the bosses besides like the end ones, like you think of that dragon. It's such a great, environment. It's really epic, especially the first time through. This is the Bridge of Evil. We're going on for more bosses. There goes a doggy head. Who likes dogs?
I mean, I love dogs, but there's also a cat enemy in this game too.
There are cat heads here as well.
But I gotta say, I would have a hard time defeating the dogs and the cats. I would have a hard time with that.
Yeah, that's why I don't go. I don't kill them. I just slide through them, give them a little love tap or something, and kind of be on my way. No animal heads were harmed in the making of the speedrun.
Man, I love it.
Let's see, we're kind of, this is the train segment, and we're just kind of coming upon bosses that you might have seen in like the original like Curse of the Moon games. This is Glutton Train. Got to make our way over to him, and again, the lightning stacks for, you don't necessarily stagger this person, but the amount of damage ticks kind of severely outweigh the big chunks of damage that fire elements would have done. So let's talk a little bit more about the, what do I want to talk about? Let's talk about movement. All right. So like, this is more than kind of like sliding over and over like your average Mega Man game. I'm actually canceling the slide with this little dash that you saw, you know, where I kind of backdash backwards. So that's actually where we get our invincibility from, is that little dash. And if we continue to cancel that dash into the slide and, you know, just keep rotating indefinitely, that's where you get those really fast dash cancels out of. This is Bothan. Hopefully he will just stay put, especially since I'm on. Nope, he will not stay put. If he opens up with that, you're kind of in a little bit of trouble for gaining on time. Just because it takes a while to catch up with them. There has been an instance where you can take a big damage boost in order to land right beside him, but if you're actually too high up in the levels, you actually will not get that big toss. It's actually kind of the same mechanic as in Symphony of the Night, whereas like the more damage that you are dealt, the farther you fly. All right, we're going to Ash's favorite place, going underground to the caverns with all the water.
Oh my gosh. I was telling him earlier, like I got up to this part of the game and I think I pretty much rage quit because I was just like, how do I get past this? So watching you do it, I'm just like amazed.
Yeah, Zangetsu just has a completely different toolkit. Like he's kind of modeled as a extra character, like an EX character, if you will, where in the classic Metroidvanias, you would just see them have a whole bunch of like powers like this, or abilities that you wouldn't need relics to, you know, traverse, especially when you can climb high heights and, you know, are incredibly powerful to begin with, so that you can dispose of bosses pretty easily. Like much like in Castlevania Symphony of the Night fashion, like the platforming and the execution is actually going to be the meat and potatoes of, you know, your consistency to the run. Bosses are not really all of that. Man, that elemental had it out for me. The bosses aren't going to really be all of that, you know, interesting in like, you know, display value, but there are certain tricks and tactics to dispose of them quickly. Again, we're going to be continuing to abuse the lightning element and the amount of damage ticks per second, keeping the doppelganger Miriam in this really, you know, this hurt state, in this hit stop, in this stagger state even. And, you know, again, just abusing the power of the elements. We take our bosses down quickly.
That was clean. Very clean.
Thank you. Woo! All right, now we're coming down to, see, there goes the cat.
Oh,
little
yeah.
cat right there.
Look at him. Look at him.
Now we're going further down into more end game-ish areas. And the cool thing about like all bosses is that like you can kind of go wherever you want. So like in order to open up the final area as Zangetsu to begin with, you need to defeat a certain set of bosses. Like not a certain number, but like certain amount of bosses. Or not a number, but like actual certain bosses. So as long as you defeat them, like you can pretty much complete this any percent. And it being in true Metroidvania fashion, if you're tackling the all bosses category, you can complete that in pretty much any order that you want. But since this is a speed run, we obviously have to route it out. So Oro Boss, a bit of an RNG intensive boss, depending on what he does. Oh, he's gonna jump back a little bit. As long as he's on the ground, that's pretty okay. But it's when he goes topsy-turvy on the inversion is where this becomes a little bit of a slug. Come back here. like he starts doing that attack, and like those beams that he shoots out of his back just pervade a lot of the area and just makes it quite difficult to hit him. But he got out of there.
You got it.
Gonna do more whirly birds. Going on to the next boss.
Bobbeigh, what was the first game you ever did a speed run for?
Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So like when I played through, when I was in my like baby streaming phase, like in 2014, 2015, just trying to like dabble with things. So I was originally like a fighting game enthusiast. Like I loved Street Fighter, loved Marvel vs. Capcom. I wanted to stream a little bit of that, but I was like, I didn't have good internet. I didn't have good equipment, and like, you know, that was pretty hard to come by. So decided to take up a little bit of speed running because, you know, I just really loved the idea of it. Sorry, I almost got hit there. But Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Mega Man were pretty much like two of my first speed runs. And it was due in part to the, you know, the opening arms, the welcoming gestures of a lot of the speedrunning communities for, you know, classic Mega Man and Castlevania Symphony of the Night respectively. Like that's where I just got hooked, you know, like, you know, connecting, like we were talking about, you know, about like the indie scene, like all together. It's like, you know, connecting with people that love the same things that you love, and you know, working together to, you know, compete against each other for top times. Like it's just, there's so many good feels around that, you know.
Yeah, I love that. I really hope I can go to a Games Done Quick in person one day and meet all of these talented speedrunners one day, because it just seems like it would be such a fun community to be a part of.
And that's the thing. Like if you love speedruns, then you already like are part of the community, and we would love nothing more than to have you in our space.
Oh.
Like especially when it like the magic that I kind of experienced at Summer Games Done Quick 2023, you know, this past month, where it like people are either meeting each other for the first time or meeting up for the first time in 5-6 years. They love to be around one another, part of each other's lives, like, and it goes beyond speedrunning sometimes. You know, these are where friendships are forged. These are where, you know, relationships are formed. Like people meeting each other up through you know, through Twitch and speedrunning, and having nothing but like the best stories to come out of it. Like that's a part of the, I mean, that's a community that you want to be a part of.
Heck yeah, absolutely agree.
And I really love talking about, like, you know, the welcoming aspect, the openness, and the, you know, just the good vibes of GDQ and the speedrunning community, because honestly, talking about this game's kind of boring. You already know, like, I'm pretty overpowered. I'm sliding everywhere. There are cats. You know, if you have cat emotes, shout them out. Yeah. But
you're going fast. I feel like if I blink, I'm gonna miss something that you're doing. Like my eyes have been glued to the screen.
We have another extra boss here called the Carpenter, which is really cool because it's kind of akin to the Soul Forge Masters, of Hector, in like the Castlevania anime and Curse of Darkness. So like the Carpenter would be the one crafting all of these enemies and curses of the night, as Igdices would say. So yeah, just a little nod there. Yeah, I'm wondering, like, if people come back and watch this run, or whether they're watching this live, like, how many like legally distinct not Vania references can you point out here?
Like, we're just tiptoeing the line of how close it kind of feels the same.
All right, I need him to come over here. Nope, come in. Come here, Papa. All right, so this is the last doppelganger, and I just needed him up against the corner. Don't worry, I'm the one with the back against the wall. But you don't really want him acting out like he did, going to mid-screen, all these teleports and all that stuff. No, we want his eyes on us, directly focused. And that was a pretty decent fight.
I hate when bosses act out.
We're about like five or so bosses away.
Oh,
we got some really nice extra bosses, and we got a really nice extra area for us to traverse through. I'm really excited that I get to display all bosses for GDQ, especially in the Juneteenth fashion. So again, shout out to everyone that loves this game, that believes in me as a content creator in person, and I'm really glad to, you know, be performing on a stage that I adored for years and years.
Oh man, we're so happy to have you here, and you know, showcasing your talent and the talent of all of these incredible Black speedrunners. I'm so glad to be a part of this event myself, and I really love watching what you're doing right now. I just feel like I feel inspired to pick the game back up again. Maybe I won't rage quit next time.
There's a plethora of categories that you can go through. There's even a lot of characters that you can play as. There's a classic mode. There's a randomizer mode. A lot of people love randomizers.
Yo, randos are so fun.
And I hear through a whisper in the wind that there might be something really big concerning the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night randomizer community. So I just need y'all to stay really close to us for information for that. Really cool secret boss, if you might recognize this person. I like to call him Byman Selmont. But he walks in that jagged fashion. He jumps in a very fixed area. He's guarding the door outside. He will not let us leave. He's trying to whip, but he got whipped instead.
You got him. That was good. You got me with that one too.
All right, we're coming into the end game areas. This is the Den of Behemoths, or the Tiny Big World, if you are a fan of Super Mario 64, where everything is, well, you are tiny and everything is huge.
Honestly, that's my favorite level.
I'm sorry, I think it's Tiny Huge Island. I always get like Tiny Huge Island, Little Big Planet. Like, y'all need to think of something.
Or the Super Mario Bros. 3 level where everything is gigantic, you know?
Oh, yep, and you gotta outrun them fish.
Yep.
The big bass.
Oh my gosh, I don't got time for those.
Let's see. So there was a run of Zangetsu that I did in Summer Games Done Quick 2020 online, where a little neat trick was that you got to skip this boss, but this is all bosses, so we're not gonna do that. But what we are gonna do is brush his teeth. So, a swiping motion. Left to right, get
up
the gums.
And down. Yep. Scrub the don't forget to scrub the tongue, all of that.
So the main quirk of this boss is that any cash that you've collected, he takes from you, and he actually heals off of it. But since we've only have 25 cents to my name, he only heals by such a small amount. Right. Seen a lot of comments in the chat about the controller that I'm using. Ooh. And this is basically called a leverless arcade controller. So any of those fight sticks that you've seen for Street Fighter and Tekken. So it replaces the joystick with 4 buttons for cardinal directions. So this is what's known as a leverless controller. The exact brand of this is called the Snackbox Micro. And it has been one of my, preferred weapons of choice when it comes to taking on action platformers and speedruns, especially in the 2D genre. So it's just kind of like a testament to if you can use any controller that you want, it's actually quite recommended because we don't want to force anyone to, be uncomfortable on a set of peripherals that, they can't comfortably enjoy. So, top speedrunners play on keyboards. I play on an arcade controller. I'm really excited to see what other controllers people might be wanting to play this game with.
I've never seen this controller, and now that you pointed that out, that it doesn't have a lever, I kind of like that. I would definitely try that out, especially just the buttons for the movement. It seemed like it would really work for NES games and Super Nintendo games, really well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you can kind of retrofit this for even live consoles with the amount of controller adapters there are out there, able to put this on 8-bit and 16-bit consoles. So you might be seeing people speedrun a classic Castlevania game in this fashion.
Nice. And it's lit up you have some RGB going on in there? Yeah,
there's a lot of RGB LEDs. There's an actual app that you can download on your phone to kind of customize the LEDs to your fit. This is not meant to be a shill, despite the fact that I am an ambassador for Junk Food Arcades. But I still want any I don't want any legality thrown my way. This is just something that I genuinely enjoy, that I use for speedruns. I use this for Bloodstained, Mega Man X4, so on and so forth. So.
It's nice.
It's very, very nice.
Where are you now?
It's been a nice end game so far as well. This would have been the final boss for any other category, but this is actually not the final boss for Zangetsu. There's actually a little bit of cleanup. There are just a 1 in 3 chance. Nice, we got Greenhead. Greenhead has the largest hitbox that I can, start spamming my stuff, but also I want to, keep up on my MP gained. Like, to make this a really, really quick fight, you have to be about your business. You have to be 100% on the ball with your execution. And really, really nice damage cancel. See, we go. The strategy of this is actually really silly. Just kind of like, bouncing on the hitboxes of the other heads.
Yeah.
Just so that you have enough MP to strike the right head down. So a little bit of dive kicks here and there, and then just doing, that sweep and Hadouken motion. Retaining our invulnerabilities. Zangetsu is just amazing, y'all.
Nice. I love the satisfying, like, downward smashes you were doing. Man, I love doing those motions in games that allow me to do it.
Absolutely. Like Zangetsu is all about like the fighting game inputs, like Street Fighter movements.
Yeah.
Ash, this is actually a area that you might enjoy, being a retro gaming enthusiast. But we are in the 8-bit dimension right now.
I love this, the 8-bit nightmare. This is awesome.
And we're just zipping through. No damage boost here necessary. Zangetsu can kind of take care of it on his own. But I wonder who might be at the end. Will it be another Cookie Monster?
We shall see.
Get the right lineup. Ah, there he goes. He's purple. Oh, and he's a hoppy boy. Oh no, we do not like this monster to be a hoppy boy.
Uh-oh.
We would like him to stay put so I can keep slicing him. But he wants to play. He's like, hello, I'm GDQ Juneteenth. I'm here. I do a lot of attacks per se. And these attacks persist even though he's dead. And that's why it took like 100 HP right there.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, it's a little homage to the 8-bit days of yore.
I love it. I love it.
And we're going to come up to the final boss now, which I wonder who this might be. If we're playing as Zangetsu, we already beat Jeeble and Dominique and, went back in time. Wonder who's left. Uh-oh.
Mystery boss.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This is bad ending. If you paid attention to the story of Ritual of the Night, you know that Miriam is going through a sort of curse right now. Her being a shard binder and all. And if she did not, basically solve the game, then she would crystallize and, turn into a monster or something like that, kind of like in Jeeble. But this is kind of like the bad ending. So we got to kind of put a stop to this because she's the only shard binder left. And she has 4,000 HP per phase, and each of them can hurt. Each of them can hurt. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, pray for me.
You got this.
Pray for me.
You got this, Bobby. I know you can do it.
Woo! Just 2,000 left. We're parrying, and that's time.
What? Yo, GG. I was clenched.
GG's.
I was clenched. I couldn't watch. I was like, oh my gosh. That was awesome.
It's one of the riskiest boss fights because like the hitboxes are kind of jank, and there's a lot of in the later phases. There's a lot of things that could go wrong when she summons spells or saw those little spinning crescents that could hit you, chunk you out for 100 HP per. But hey, really glad that we got this. That we got this done.
Yeah, GG, Bobby. That was incredible to watch. You did such a great job. It was so wonderful seeing your talent on display here for such a cool game. Is there any last words that you want to share with the GDQ community? Anything that you want to let them know?
I'm letting them know that Juneteenth runs all throughout this weekend for GDQ. And I'm wanting them to watch each and every one of these runners display their passions for speedrunning on the grand stage in a one-take setting. There are very few chances for people to get the spotlight like this, especially when it comes to Black creators and Black speedrunners. So this is a very, very special this is a very special place in my heart, being a part for this for many years, and the fact that it's even a thing is nothing short of astronomical. So I implore you, like if this entertains you, please tune in to Cypher, tune in to Peace, Ryan Ford, so many more that are here to wow you. And make sure to follow them on Twitch or wherever that their journey leads them. Follow them, celebrate them, uplift them, because they do a lot. They put in a lot of work to be where they are today, young and old. All right. As far as it gets to me, it is the name change is the major thing. Follow me on twitch.tv/Bobbeigh. It would mean a lot to me if y'all would click the follow button and join me next Friday for my 3-year Twitch partner anniversary. It's gonna be a really big stream. I'm gonna be working with the crowd control folks again to provide many chances for people to play along. I would love it to have you be a part of that magic again, because the platform means a lot to me. The friendships and bonds that I've made and strengthened mean a lot to me. And of course, people that have a genuine interest in black folks, black creators, and speedrunning, you mean a lot to me. So that's it from me. Ash?
Thank you so much. GDQ, guess what? We're gonna take a little bit of a break, and then we're gonna set up for our next game, which is gonna be super fantastic. As Bobbeigh said, so many talented speedrunners are on display this weekend. Keep the channel here. You're gonna see some awesome games. So we're gonna set up for our next one, which is The Adventures of Batman and Robin, any percent solo with Cypherin. And I also wanna remind you that if you missed out on SGDQ 2023, be sure to check out the VODs on YouTube at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And don't forget that your subs and Prime Gaming subs and gift subs and bits all go to support GDQ's Twitch channel and help keep us doing what you all love, which is showcasing amazing talent. So we're going to go take a break, and we'll see you in a few minutes.